Well, hello everyone, I'm Postmaster Radio and it's time to bring on the funny. You're listening to Ujokes Weekly, the official podcast highlighting Jonathan Mangum's fantastically funny virtual comedy show Ujokes, where two comedians compete for the best possible joke. And whether you be on YouTube, Facebook, or even Twitch, believe it or not, you all playing along as part of the Ujokes audience, you too can compete for the best joke. It is comedy gold at your fingertips. Now today I'm counting down my top 5 jokes from last night's Ujokes show with Nicole Sullivan and Ujokes two-timer, because last night was his second appearance on the show, Rob Benedict. All the highlights to come momentarily, but first, if you missed last week's Ujokes show with Dean Cameron and Richard Horvitz, both from the 80s film Summer School, catch up now via the podcast link in the description. You can also watch that full-length Ujokes show on the Ujokes YouTube channel. And on that note, to continuing listeners, thank you so much for coming back to the Ujokes podcast. If this is your first time listening, like, subscribe, rate, comment, and review. Those ratings and reviews especially help on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and Podchaser, so please leave them if it is not too much trouble. And don't forget to keep listening, because after the top 5 countdown, we'll move straight away to the Ujokes Awards, full of additional highlights to come. But now, without further ado, let's get started. At spot number 5 on the countdown, we go to Rob Benedict for, believe it or not, a brand new game. Now, last week there were 2 new games you may remember, Jingalong and Pardonnez-moi. One of them we will come back to later in the podcast, but for now, here's another new game that I know you have not heard of. Neither have I, because it was new to all of us listening to Ujokes last night. Drugs and Kisses. It's sort of like What's It Mean, because it involves a fake word, but at the same time, not. This word is Pumbutafin, and it's a fake drug name. So, what does the Pumbutafin drug do? That's the question you gotta answer as part of that Ujokes game. So what did Rob Benedict have to say about that? Well, let's just say that for any Disney fans listening, you're definitely gonna love his joke.
It's for that Disney fan who wants to turn that Pumbaa butt into a Nemo fin. Pumbutafin.
I like what you did.
Yep, the drug that gets you from Pumbaa butts to Nemo fins. That was a pretty puntastic game for Rob Benedict. Well done. And speaking of Rob, he is still in the spotlight, but for another new game from the night. This was the second of the 2 new games from the show, this time called Pod Craps. At spot number 4 on the countdown, based on the picture of the milkman with the bottles of milk, you have to answer one very simple question. What is the name of the podcast? If this didn't have you thinking, oh, that is one potential Ujokes threat, then nothing will.
This is a podcast called Serial Killers, and it's serial C-E-R-E-A-L.
Yeah. Yes.
Told you, that is one tough Ujokes competitor. We'll come back to Rob, and don't worry, Nicole Sullivan fans, her too, momentarily, but for now, at spot numero 3 on the countdown, time for last show's best, or as Jonathan called it yesterday, last week's best. How does it work? Easy question. Were you not watching live last night? Or maybe you were watching live, but you did not submit a joke for 1 or 2 of the games. No problemo. Go back to that show, type in your joke. Jonathan and his producer Josh will go back and look through all of those jokes, and whichever is the best joke, whoever submitted that joke, will get to meet Jonathan and compete on the next Ujokes show, which, by the way, is coming up on Monday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. You don't want to miss that. And for additional entries, be on the lookout for those mini Ujokes challenges on Facebook and the community page of the Ujokes YouTube channel. But anyway, what was last week's best? Well, we go to that game we mentioned last time, Pardonnez-moi, where the picture showed Mr. Potato Head. And if Mr. Potato Head were to write a memoir, what would the title be? That's what you gotta figure out. And Mr. Last Week's Best, Christopher L. Mission accomplished with his joke, Lend Me Your Ears. So that joke had to be my third favorite from the night. No question about that. My second favorite joke, spot number 2 on the countdown, Rob Benedict continuing to dominate the competition, this time for a game called Happy Hour. This was the last game of the night based on the picture shown of a lady who appears to be in a pretzel-like yoga pose. Based on that pic, it's up to you to figure out what the hell is she drinking. And Rob Benedict, though he did not win for that Happy Hour game, I was sure he was going to. It was one of those puntastic moments, one of those puntastic jokes, you know?
Yeah, she's drinking a margarita.
Margarita. I love it.
Ah, well, anyway, still a great joke from Rob. And last but certainly not least, at spot number 1 on the countdown, this doesn't happen that often, like for back-to-back Ujokes podcasts, but it has been happening for the last couple of weeks at this point, which is crazy to see. But I have to give it to an entire game, and that game is Show of Bands. Now, in this game, which has not been played in a while, which I love, in this game you gotta come up with the name of the band, based on the picture of a guy who almost appears to be drowning in splattered tomatoes, if that gives you any indication. Now, it's not often that all of the jokes in one game tend to dominate. That's why Show of Bands had to be my favorite highlight from the night. Although I will say, shout out to Team Audience for Jerry Kennedy on Facebook, Huey Lewis and the Stews. I did not think that joke would win the game, the Show of Bands game, but it did, so well done to Jerry from Facebook. Bonus shout out to JP on the YouTube chat. And that is a guy, for those of you that don't know, who has actually been on one of the early Ujokes episodes. He just chimed in via the YouTube chat by saying, "Don't remember doing that. How long was I out?" And then for the comedians, well, we know that Rob and Nicole lost to Team Audience, but I still think the two comedians had good jokes, at least in my humble opinion. Let's start off with Rob Benedict. This was his joke.
First of all, I love this record. This is one of my favorite records by this band. You know the band Smashing Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So great joke from Rob, and poor Nicole Sullivan. So far, she has not made the countdown even once. Well, luckily, the Show of Bands game changed all that, because Nicole Sullivan, damn, well done to you for this joke of yours from the game. Too bad you didn't win the Show of Bands game for that joke, but still, 10 out of 10 if you ask me.
A band called Get Off the Stage. It's an acapella group that comes into the audience and deals with the audience in Vegas.
I love it.
Get off the stage.
It's an acapella group that performed at Coachella. And they got completely tomatoed. I love it. I love it.
But anyway, safe to say, great jokes all around. That's it for the Ujokes Top 5 Countdown, and now we go on to the Ujokes Awards. The Ujokes Awards. Let's do it for Comedian of the Week. Sorry, Nicole Sullivan, but no question here, Rob Benedict. You are this week's Comedian of the Week, the top comedian taking the crown of comedy. Well done. For Game of the Week, honorable shout out to the new games from last night, Drugs and Kisses and Pod Craps. But in the end, the award for Game of the Week goes to, insert drum roll here, Show of Bands. A lot happening in that game, so gotta give it to that. Congratulations, Show of Bands. The Audience Award is next, and this award goes to that one person from the Ujokes audience who had the best joke. Gotta give it to last week's best, Christopher L. Well done, my man. And now for the final award of the night. That's all about the fantastically funny Ujokes host, Jonathan Mangum, the Mangum moment. Not much to say here, but I'm going to give it to the start of the show where he was talking about some of the national days, you know, like National Paranormal Day, which was yesterday, and a couple of other national days yesterday, which you would think that they would be jokes because A, it's Ujokes, not you serious, and B, usually any national days mentioned on the Ujokes show are indeed jokes, but not for last night, apparently, because last night it was National Lumpy Rug Day, National Textiles Day, National Chocolate Custard Day, and National Two Different Colored Shoes Day. Yeah, I guess those are all actual national days. I mean, wow. Again, crazy to see. Fun little manga moment for me last night. So, yeah, good to know. I'll have to keep those days in mind next year. But with that being said, that's it. That is it for this week's Ujokes podcast. Of course, before we do wrap things up, a couple of final announcements first. Like I said before, tune into the next Ujokes show coming up on Monday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. And for more Ujokes fun, there's the Ujokes website as created by Ujokes fanatic Craig in the UK, so check that out, ujokes.com. Plus even more to check out on the Ujokes YouTube channel with College Humor's Carolyn Page and her show FMK Champs. Plus, good news, there's another show coming soon to the Ujokes YouTube channel. The bad news is it was supposed to start for Fridays in May, but now it has been rescheduled. It's going to start in June. So Friday's in June now, and the show is called High Jokes Score, in which jokes equal cash. Hopefully more details on that show to come soon enough. Either way, until next time, stay connected with me, like, subscribe, follow, rate, comment, and review on YouTube, iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Podchaser. Plus, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Postmaster Radio. The account links are all in the description. Thanks again for listening, and, well, bye for now. See ya.